discuss about the connective tissue. Okay, in connective tissue it is divided into four types. What is mean by this connective tissue? This will connect one part of the body to another part. You must have heard about bones, right? Bones connect to the muscles, a muscle to muscle connection. You must have heard about this blood is a fluid connective tissue, right? So this connective tissue is again divided into four different types. First one is the areolar connective tissue, second one is the adipose connective tissue, third one is the skeletal, and fourth one is the fluid. You must have known the fluid connective tissue as blood, right? Inside this blood there are many plasma, many cells like RBC, WBC, platelets, macrophages, everything is present inside blood, and that is called as fluid connective tissue, just because it is a fluid and it flows from one part of the body to other part, right? It transport all the nutrients inside the body. So let's come to the areolar connective tissue. This areolar connective tissue is again divided into two types. First one is the tendon and second one is the ligament. Second one is the adipose connective tissue, which is adipose connective tissue especially for the fat storage. Okay, this one is the mainly for fat storage. It is present beneath the skin, and these are the cells, like these will be some hexagonal type of cells, and inside this there will be many fat globules present. These are the storage cells for fat. Okay, so then third one is the skeletal connective tissue. So you know this, that bone and cartilage, these both belongs to the skeletal system of the body, right? So what does bone do? What is the function of bone? Actually, bone give the structure to the particular body, right? If you remove all the bones from yourself or any other organism, then there will be only muscles remaining, and it won't it will flatten, right? It won't get any structure. So second one is the cartilage. What is the difference between the bone and cartilage? Bone are the stronger part. Okay, these are strong as compared to the cartilage. These are cartilage are formed from the chondrocytes. We will discuss about this in your upcoming lectures. Chondrocytes, and this bone is formed by the osteocyte. These are the cells which form cartilage and bone. Bone connects one muscle to another muscle. It provides as a supportive organ. Okay, and cartilage also connect from one bone to other muscle or something. Okay, so till now we have discussed about this epithelial tissue and the connective tissue. So let's look at these epithelial tissue types and see that what are they, what does they function. Okay, so for squamous epithelium, if you see, these are the single layer of cells, right? These are the single layer of cells. So for diffusion process, what is diffusion actually? Diffusion is the movement of molecules from one place to another place according to their concentration gradient. Like if here there will be 15 molecules, okay, here is 15 molecule, and here is 5 molecule of, let's say, oxygen. Okay, 5 molecule of oxygen, 15 molecule of oxygen. So 15 molecule is a higher number. So what oxygen will do? Oxygen will move from this place to that place till both the molecules or both the numbers will same at both the places. Okay, so what squamous epithelium do? Squamous epithelium provide a particular surface through which this particular diffusion occurs, just like in case of alveoli. You must have heard inside the alveoli there are thin epithelial cells present. These are nothing but the squamous epithelium, and this squamous epithelium, what they do actually, when oxygen comes here, this provide the particular surface through which oxygen move. Where it will go? It will go inside the blood vessels, right? Blood vessels. Inside this RBC will be present, and these particular RBC will take up this particular oxygen, and again it will become the oxygenated blood. So why it happens through the squamous epithelium only, or not with the cuboidal and columnar epithelium, you must be asking. So I have already told you that squamous epithelium is the thinnest epithelium possible, right? This is the thinnest epithelium, and cuboidal, you can see these it has certain width, but these particular cells does not have much width. So if there will be there won't be much width, that means there is not much restrictions for the molecule to pass through it. Okay, that's why squamous epithelium is preferred over other epithelium. I'm not saying that cuboidal or columnar epithelium won't be present where there is absorption or where there is secretion, but mostly in case of this in case of alveoli or in case of the nephrons in the kidney, the squamous epithelium will be found. Second one is the cuboidal epithelium, and mostly its function is to secretion. Okay, these secrete certain kind of molecules. Even columnar epithelium, its function is for secretion. Ciliated epithelium, mostly they are for absorption, so they can be found in the intestine part. Or ciliated epithelium also helps in clearance of the foreign particles coming through the air in the bronchi or in the nasal passage, you can say. Okay, this is also present in the nasal passage, and what it do actually in the nasal passage, it will remove the dust particles, or it will trap the dust particle so that the dust particle can't reach the lungs or alveoli. Okay, so they prevent some damage. And glandular, I have already told you, there are two types of glands may present, exocrine or endocrine. Exocrine glands will produce the enzymes, and exocrine glands will produce the enzymes or wax or many secretory substances, but endocrine glands produce the hormone. Okay,